Welcome back to 2 Minute Tips with PBJ. Today I want to go over how I choose quilting thread for a multicolored project. So this piece here has a lot of color, and that can make it a little difficult to decide how I'm going to quilt this. Now, just a note, I do not care when I'm choosing my threads if they are cotton or polyester. I simply choose based on the color. And that goes for whether it's a wall hanging or a lap quilt. I am just choosing based on color. So I have pulled some threads from my thread stash to try and see what will work for this little mini piece. I have a few blues, I have some oranges, and then I have some neutrals. So what I do when I am trying to decide what color I am going to use for my quilting, I will take each color that I have pulled, and I do each color because you never know what you're going to find. I get surprised every time by what either shows up really well or maybe doesn't show up well enough, depending on what my plan is for the quilting. So I take each thread color and I spread it around on my top to see how is it going to show up in the dark, in the light, in the color that maybe it's pretty close to, and do I like how that looks? Now, you do need to have kind of a quilting plan in mind when you are doing this, because maybe you don't mind that the light color shows up really well in that dark color fabric. Maybe you don't want it to show up. Maybe you want the quilting to blend in more than stand out. So you want to have that kind of in mind as you are pulling these threads out and choosing which one you're going to use. And you go ahead and just check. You can see how it starts to blend in depending on the color or stand out. Now, if you don't have a thread that you like, maybe it is either you don't have one that works or you just really didn't like how any of them looked. Then we go to our neutrals. So a cream is always a nice choice. It's going to blend in somewhat, maybe not so much on the dark as it does with the lights. But there are 4 colors that work really well when you want those threads to blend in. And I don't have one actually in my thread stash. I don't have a rose, but those 4 colors are going to be rose, taupe, sage, and gray. Now, if you want a color that is going to kind of disappear within the colors that you are using, one of those 4 colors will probably work really well. So they're going to just kind of float within the colors that you are quilting and disappear, blend in as you go. So as you see, this sage works really well on that dark, and it stands out a little bit, but not as much as this light blue. So those colors are a nice choice if you don't want your quilting to really, really stand out. Or maybe you've made a quilt that is maybe using different fabric colors than what you have usually used in the past, and you don't have anything in your thread stash that will work with that. So those 4 colors are good options if you want those to disappear. Come back in 2 weeks for the next 2-minute tips with Patterns by Jen. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss it. Go make something you love.